Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Until next time, you already know what I'm gonna tell you to do. Have an amazing rest of your day, and of course, keep that energy high. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and let me tell you, we have a lot to talk about this week. So if you haven't already grabbed your snacks, this is a good time to do it. Today, we're celebrating 50 years of hip hop by reliving the Friends of Waterfront's Hip Hop 50 Labels Fashion Show, the Subway Cypher art opening, which was actually curated by my good sis T-Dub. Plus, we head down to Portland to tap in with Mikey Vegas, who is one of the partners over at Trap Kitchen PDX. And let me tell you, if there's one thing I'm going to do on this show, friend, it's eat and eat good, because they definitely hooked it up. We'll also show you what's been happening during the Rainier Beach High School replacement project. We go to Capitol Hill, where community honored Elijah L. Lewis through art. And it is the third Saturday, so you already know Traveling While Black is back to give suggestions on what to do in the PNW. We have another Youth Unfiltered and so much more. But first, it's Hot Topics. So I'm not shocked, but I had no clue Chloe Bailey and her sister Haley were vegan. And for that matter, Chloe has been vegan for 10 years. Well, at least until this week. Okay, so apparently while she was at a hotel, she ordered a vegan burger for her and her sister, normal things, just to get a regular beef burger. Child, check out what happened.
And so I called to get a Beyond Burger for sis and I, like usual. Specify that it's vegan, no butter on the bun, nothing like that. So we get the burgers, and I'm getting out the shower. Sis and I, we were sharing a room since we were just there for a night. And she's eating the burger, and she's like, "Are you sure this is Beyond?" She took like a couple bites. She said, "This is really good. It sure is Beyond." I said, "Yeah." I touched the patty and I smelled it, and I was like, "Of course it's Beyond." Yeah. So I finished getting dressed. So I take a bite, and the juice dripping from the burger is not like a Beyond burger. I just knew it was not a fake burger. The one bite I took, and I just knew. I said, "This doesn't feel right." I immediately called downstairs. I said, "These are vegan burgers, right?" He said, "Yes." I said, "They're vegan burgers?" He said, "No, they're brand burgers." I said, "Brand burgers?" I said, "Beyond burgers." I don't even know what a brand burger is. And he said, "What? You said brand burger. Well, does anybody know what a brand burger is?" So immediately I'm losing my... I gobbled down a whole can of Sprite. Hallie's laughing at me because I'm crying. This is right before the concert yesterday. I'm crying. Hallie's just laughing so hard at me because I'm freaking out. I've been vegan for 10 years. I have not consumed any red meat for 10 years.
Now, I've yet to jump on the vegan train, but that's only because I personally don't have enough vegan food options to be happy with the food on a day-to-day basis. Like, clearly it's possible, but I haven't gotten there yet. However, I do know that something like this is absolutely possible, and I frankly would be pissed off if it happened to me, especially after 10 years of being vegan. So look, if you're vegan, please hit me up on IG at Besa Gordon and let me know what you would have done if you were Chloe, because clearly her sister went on about her day and just laughed. Now, Drake won't be in Seattle until August 25th. However, his shows have been making headlines lately. And at first, with this particular one, I was a little bit confused as to what happened. However, recently, Drake tossed a sweaty towel of his into the crowd after his show and came to the defense of a woman after, get this, a male fan tussled with her over the towel. Check out what happened. stage. But shout out to him for coming to the defense and noticing what was going on and, frankly, putting a stop to the foolery. All right, you guys, it is time for the rewind where we recap different things in the city that you may have missed or simply might want to relive. The Vivid Matters Collective partnered with Friends of Waterfront Seattle to create an immersive art installation to honor the origins and legacy of hip-hop culture called Subway Cypher, located in Occidental Park. And you can check it out until September 29th. In case you haven't seen it yet, check out what you've been missing.
Hip hop is rhythm, hip hop is vibe, hip hop is heartbeat. It is the driving force, it's the energy for all of us to continue to do what we do. I know for me, it definitely, keeps me going when I get tired, and gets me amped when, when the time is right. We are here at the beautiful Occidental Square Park for the opening of the Subway Cypher. And Subway Cypher is a collaboration between Vivid Matter Collective and Friends of Waterfront Seattle. It features a shipping container that is decked out in graffiti, similar to a Subway, because we were here celebrating the 50 years of hip hop. So that was our theme and our focus for this particular installation. Beautifully enough, the container actually opens up to feature a gallery that also includes some art that celebrates 50 years of hip hop. Hip hop for me is the foundation of so many things that I do, and I know it's important to so many of the members of the collective, to be able to do this work and share this work with the city in this way, and represent the culture is one of the tenets, right? We got the dancing, you got the MC, you got the beats, and then you got the art, you got the graffiti and things of that nature. So we're just out here trying to rep the best way we can. We have several of our Vivid Matter Collective artists who've created pieces just for this show. We got everything from MF Doom to DMX to Missy Elliott, center on the focal point situation. A little bit of everything from everybody's favorite parts of hip hop.
Hey everybody, I'm a rapper too, so this is like a big day for me. This is my second birthday. Doing this is also great. Missy is amazing, so I had to do a Missy Elliott piece. But yeah, just being a rapper in Canada, this is tight. Love y'all. Love my people. This is cool. Yeah.
And Subway Cypher is here this weekend for the 50th birthday of hip hop culture. So in honor of that, I painted the container to look like a traditional New York subway car with graffiti on it to kind of embody the elements of hip hop with the graffiti, the music, and the b-boying and the DJing, those elements. And then on the inside of the gallery, there is art that is also related to hip hop for the weekend. I was trying to think of a way to have this container be the vehicle for graffiti. The reference to the train is a reference to old New York and the early beginnings of hip hop, painting the trains and traveling by train to the jams and things like that. Those were all things that were part of hip hop, and the train was the conduit to get people from the Bronx River to Brooklyn or to Queens or wherever they had to go to the jam, or to battle. The hip hop that I was raised on is like ingrained in me. It's ingrained in my fabric. It's never gonna be anything other than like a movement or a way of life, if you will. Like I wear my hat to the side. I got my sneakers on. I will never not dress like this ever in my life. I will be like this until the day I die. And hip hop did that for me.
We wanted to come together to build an art piece around the celebration of 50 years of hip hop. So we wanted some visual arts to be able to celebrate that. We have a 50 years of hip hop down at Pier 62 tomorrow on August 12th. And so just connecting along the waterfront, being able to put visual art out was a part of the project. We were able to have a partnership with Downtown Seattle Association to bring art into Occidental Square because it is still a part of the waterfront. And as we grow, people will be coming down this way. And so it's just another part, an extension of the waterfront. We just hope that people come down and experience the art and that we can continue to move this throughout the city in different immersive art experiences.
I think the biggest takeaway is that, we're here, we do amazing things, and we represent, Seattle just as much as anybody else. Obviously, Pioneer Square being an historical arts district as well, bringing something like this, something that's different, something that's a little bit, on the margins, representing in that way, I think is very important for us. We're super pumped on how everything turned out. It's been a labor of love for sure. And we're excited for people to see all the programming that will take place while the container is here. It'll be here for a couple months. We'll definitely come on down to the Occidental Square Park and check it out.
Again, you can check out this piece at Occidental Park all the way until September 29th. The next activation of the Subway Cypher includes an exclusive t-shirt released by Sneak One on Sunday, August 20th, and the VMC Skill Shop exhibition on September 1st. Now, Friends of Waterfront Seattle brought Pier 62 to life on Saturday, well, last Saturday, with their Hip Hop 50 celebration featuring live music, food, vendors, and the label's fashion show. The looks on display came from some of Seattle's top designers such as Zulu, Mediums Collective, and many more. Plus, the models even included our very own Curtis Delgado II. In case you missed it, check out what happened.
All right, guys, that just happened, and that was an absolute vibe. Like, honestly, I could not think of a better way to celebrate 50 years of hip-hop than being down here at Pier 62 with my whole fam. Like, dude, we had Zulu on stage. We had undefined clothing. I even got to rock one of those freaking soul chains. It was a little bit heavy, but it was totally worth it. We had Cutting Up, killing it. I had my buddy Top Spin on the ones and twos. Shared the stage with my girl Be Unique. Like, honestly, this fashion show was everything that I knew it would be and even more.
Now, shout out to Friends of Waterfront Seattle for having me host with my sis Be Unique. And be sure to keep up with their future events on their website at waterfrontparkseattle.org. Now, we are still in August, which means it is still National Black Business Month. And as I said earlier, if there is one thing I am going to do on this show, it is eat, and that is eat good. While I was in Portland this past weekend, I stopped by Trap Kitchen PDX, and my taste buds were treated like royalty, honey. I would tell you what I ate, but honestly, I need you to see it to believe it, okay? Check out what happened.
Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. I am here at the Trap Kitchen in Portland with my buddy Mikey Vegas.
What's up with you? How you been?
I'm good. It's been a minute.
Haven't seen you since Trap Kitchen weekend.
Oh, that was absolutely a vibe.
Right on.
Now, really quick, so we got a lot going on tonight. Let us know what's happening today.
Man, today is the Dame Dollar album listening party that we having right here in the Roseland Theater at Trap Kitchen PDX, man. It's a vibe.
So you guys aren't just doing food, you guys are doing food, you guys are doing parties, you're doing vibes.
We're doing everything, man. We just trying to curate a vibe, man, for, our people, you feel me? In this small city that ain't got a lot going for our people.
What are you serving me today, Mikey?
Today, I'm gonna hit you off with some of these deep fried lamb chops, you feel me? And I'm gonna give you one of these Louisiana fried shrimp baskets.
Okay, Mikey, I am absolutely looking forward to it. Let's go.
Let's do it. It gets live in the Roseland, man. Live events get a little different than, the regular menu, you feel me? So if you come see us on the show, you might get a treat, you feel me, that you can't normally get.
Now, as Mikey gets my food right, I have to say, if there is one thing I love to do when I come to Portland, it's stop by the Trap Kitchen. In case you haven't been, Trap Kitchen PDX is one of many Trap Kitchen locations across America, and they are known for their amazing foods and culture. The Trap Kitchen is respected in the hip-hop community and has been visited by Snoop Dogg, Roddy Ricch, and the gone too soon Kobe Bryant and Nipsey Hussle. Now, fun fact about Trap Kitchen, it originated in Compton, California when a former Crip and Blood came together in culinary school. Talk about food bringing people together, right? What's amazing about Trap Kitchen PDX is that it's located inside the iconic Roseland Theater. And as Mikey mentioned, the day I pulled up, it was also the listening party for Dame Dollar, who, as some of you may know, as NBA player Damian Lillard, who plays for the Portland Trail Blazers, my friend. Portland pulled up for him, okay? There were people in line in his jerseys, sneakers, and my friend, the line was all the way down the street and around the corner, okay? So while people were waiting for the show to start, many of them grabbed food from Trap Kitchen PDX. Now, speaking of food, Mikey hooked it up with the Louisiana shrimp, lamb chops, and honey.
The lamb chops be looking so fire, bro. This is my bro, Chef Deers. He been with us since we started this Trap Kitchen PDX thing. Working hard, getting them lamb chops. I don't think y'all ever seen those deep fried lamb chops looking like that before, you know what I mean? Oh, yes, sir. Thank you for taking care of our good people, Durs.
Everything had so much flavor, and the lamb chops were beyond juicy. I definitely suggest trying them if they're on the menu the day you stop by. You guys, as you can see, we have a full plate of food in front of us. We got some big shrimps. These have to be like prawns. I don't care what anybody says. We got lamb chops right here. You see the seasoning, you see the vibe. Your girl is about to get her grub on, per usual. You guys, every single time I come down to PDX, I come to the Trap Kitchen. I've never been disappointed with their food. You're gonna get juicy lamb chops, big juicy shrimp, plenty of seasoning, and don't even get me started on their lemonades. I always get the blue one, by the way. All right, well, that was an absolute vibe. I truly appreciate you feeding your girl while I'm down here in Portland. And dude, you guys, next time you're in Portland, or even if you are in Portland right now, make sure that you pull up the Trap Kitchen PDX.
Pull up on us. Pull up on me.
Now, let me tell you, I am full all over again just thinking about everything that I had while I was over at Trap Kitchen PDX. Typically, I do get the baller box, which has fried shrimp, crab legs, a lobster tail, and so much more. But I've officially found another must-have whenever I pull up. So, dude, Trap Kitchen PDX is located once again inside the Roseland Theater. Okay, friend, we are off to our first commercial break. But when we come back, we're talking about the Rainier Beach High School Replacement Project. Of course, you're watching Back to Besa.
So the advice that I would give to anybody coming into really any space is always keeping an eye out for the people that are doing the thing that you want to do, and seeking them out and just asking them for a cup of coffee, asking to meet and connect with them in some way. Because more often than not, those are the people that want to help you and want to uplift you and figure out a way to provide you support. So even if they don't have the answer, they can help you find somebody, but also they're helping you write the first few chapters of your story. And I think that that is the most important thing. Like, you don't know what you don't know coming into that space, and you have to be unafraid to ask those questions and really trust yourself and lean in hard. You know, you're gonna make mistakes. That's going to happen. It is inevitable. It is a part of life. But what matters is what you learn from that, what the takeaway is, and how you push forward.
Welcome back to Besa. The Rainier Beach High School Replacement Project has been a long time coming, and the work is now underway in full force. And what's dope is that there are Rainier Beach alums that are working on the project, and some even started during their senior year of high school and advocated for student resources while pushing for a renovation to take place. Check out their story.
Hello, my name is Israel Presley. Welcome to the Rainier Beach High School Replacement Project.
We didn't think it was gonna happen. Like, after we left the school and still no change, we didn't think it was happening, but the fight never ended. Even though we graduated, the fight never ended. And now it's actually happening. So it's just, you know, you gotta be there to see it, you know?
It feels surreal. It feels amazing. It feels like an accomplishment and achievement that we worked so hard for through blood, sweat, and tears. That's finally coming to pass. It's manifesting now. And the first concrete pour was an evidence of that. And so, you know, Betty was with us too as well, and Mike Bethia. They're pillars here in this community. And so for them to see this come to pass is unreal, unreal.
From my standpoint, the biggest curve has definitely been on the workforce side. I think there's certainly haven't got it right historically, but there's been a lot of infrastructure around WIMBY subcontracting. There's a lot of efforts built and thinking about intentional diversity efforts, inclusion efforts on the workforce side. To be honest, when we started, we didn't even really know where to go. You know, where were our partners? You know, since then we've been built great relationships with NWCI, who we've been down to visit anew, and really kind of went from the ground up of how do we build an infrastructure, create a program to really diversify the workforce.
We know that living in the city, right, isn't available to everyone. And we also know that the industry has work to do, right? We have a shortage of labor. We have people who want to work. This is a problem that we can fix. Like, we can do something about this.
The students are ecstatic. They're resilient. And so in everything that they do, in any type of adversity that they experience in life, they're resilient to it, meaning that they fight back. We're fighters here. We're not only family, but we also fight. We fight for what is needed, and we fight for what is right. And there's always going to be pushback, and it's going to come in different ways. It comes in sneaky ways, is what the kids state. But they can read between the lines. They see the writing on the wall, and so they can speak to that. And that's the difference between the kids were doing it then back in the 90s too as well. They're very vocal now. They can articulate what they feel. People are listening now.
After I graduated, I took a year break, and then I realized I didn't want to go to college, and I got a call, opportunity. Miss Virginia called my brother and asked if we wanted to do construction. Before that call happened, I can tell you right now, I used to say, I will never do construction. I personally myself didn't think I could do construction. Now that I'm here, it's like, I definitely got this. As time goes, and you learn more and you get better. And so this is just like it's like building up right now.
You know, I worked with all types of students, but one of our main demands was making sure this school happens when we say we want it to happen. You know, so I was in the actual school board rooms talking to Superintendent Juno, talking to everybody on that school board during that time, during my 2019 senior year, right? Going from there to being in the workshops, talking to people, to hearing about, oh, we're talking about contractors, to hearing about this company called Lighting, to, you know, and then watching how everything worked together, right? To me landing here and actually seeing from the groundbreaking, if it's in God's will, seeing it when it's finished, right? Like, so I want to be able to take any skills I got, anything I develop, just like how the guys in that brake shack do with me, and offer it and give it up to me. I want to be able to give it up to the next man and help them move on and progress.
The process has been heavily focused on the community, bringing business owners, community leaders, and other Rainier Beach High School students together to create a plan which involves all parties and aims to ensure the best outcomes. We will stay tuned to this story and update you again in a few months when the project reaches another milestone. Now, although I did go to Cleveland, I am very happy that Rainier Beach is getting a well-deserved new school. Now, we are off to another commercial break, but when we come back, we're talking about their mural that was updated to highlight a Seattle legend that was gone too soon.
I think my pieces of advice would be come in with humility, enjoy your passion, and be ready to work. Those are my three things. I think if you think your product is perfect and you may not need to adjust, your product's gonna die quickly because the world adjusts, people adjust. You need to always be thinking about your customer and what they want. So you may have an idea of what you like, but you got to move that to what the customer likes also. And two, just enjoy your job. I love what I do. It is hard. I love what I do. It's hard, and you're fighting Mother Nature and you're fighting inflation and all these other things. But I think it's made me a better human being. And thirdly, like, be ready to work. Don't be lazy. Like, just do the research. Get a mentor. Like, you know, that also goes with being humble. Like, find somebody who's done it and then work with them to help you be the best version of yourself.
Welcome back to Back2Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon. Ethereal vision is about not having to alter who we are to fit this industry, but really making this industry fit who we are. That was what Elijah L. Lewis, who was taken away from us way too soon, and frankly, you guys, this one's gonna hurt for a minute, okay? Last Saturday, members of the Seattle's art community, included Vivid Matter Collective, gathered at the Black Lives Matter mural on Capitol Hill for their annual letter repainting. But this time around, they also created a second installation honoring the life of Elijah Lewis. The event featured artists painting murals in his honor, as well as a children's station run by Elijah's mother, Janine Lewis, with art materials and canvases. Check out what happened during this historical moment.
The ethereal vision is a vision of empowering our creatives, empowering talent, positive talent, not having to alter who we are in order to fit this industry, but really making this industry fit who we are.
Today we are here at the BLM mural on Capitol Hill. We're pulling double duty today. We have Vivid Matter Collective out here repainting some of their letters as we do every year. We decided to do something extra special this year and also hold a second art activation honoring Elijah Lewis. So there are a few artists who are here painting murals in his honor. We have a children's station set up by Mama Janine Lewis where there's art materials and paints and canvases for people to come and do their own art and, you know, just activate artistically and creatively today as we do every year, but we wanted to make this one extra special and bring Elijah's memory into it as well. Black Lives Matter is still a movement, it's still a conversation that needs to be had. And you know, so us doing this mural, you know, in 2020 was definitely very important for us. And repainting it every year just really gives us an opportunity to reflect and compare and contrast what our experiences have been, you know, every year. You know, losing Elijah sent a ripple effect through the entire city, but definitely through our community. You know, him being somebody that I knew, you know, and worked with very closely, you know, losing him in that way was incredibly tragic. I remember that day, you know, that I got that call, that I got that news. You know, we all gathered together at Black Dot and just held space for one another. And I knew in that moment that I was gonna do something like this to speak to his life and speak to his name. Mama Janine and I began having conversations shortly after his memorial. Trying to figure out different types of ways that we could come together and activate artistically. And we settled on, you know, using the backdrop of the BLM mural as a space to hold space for Elijah and for his family and for his memory.
So I'm here, you know, to represent for the homie Elijah L. Lewis, who was a young giant, a young activist that unfortunately we lost this past April. We just out here doing portraits and just everything that represents him and his essence and try to immortalize his image, you know. We paint portraits of our historians and scholars from back in the days that immortalize his image. So this is the modern day scholar, you know, and revolutionary, you know, that we have today here in Seattle. So we're here to immortalize his image, you know.
This piece here is dedicated to the young man, Elijah Lewis, at the request of his family. We came together to do something for him. I never got to meet the man, but it sounds like he was very impactful in the community. And that's something I can get behind.
Once upon a time, right, it was around Christmas time, we were doing a nice art market at Langston Hughes. And yeah, I was doing characters, making Christmas cards. And I decided to draw people just for fun for the holidays. And Elijah came over to my table and he said, I should just give you this Tupac shirt because he was an entrepreneur. So he's like, I want to give you this. And I said, shoot, I'll draw you. So I'm going to draw you. And I drew him up real quick and I handed it to him. And I wasn't very proud of my work, right? And he agreed. He was like, nah, they don't look like me. Today I'm here to give back that picture that I promised him, you know, and I promised him it was going to look a lot better. And so yeah, this is from my heart right here. He was a light, but more like a lightning bolt. Like he was strong, like it's just unexplainable the vision that he had. It's almost like he was in the future already.
I think our biggest takeaway always with repainting the mural is just remind people, you know, remind people of 2020, remind people of what we went through just, you know, 3 short years ago. We're still losing people, you know, we're still having to go to funerals and plan memorials and things like that for folks. So the conversation is definitely still, you know, active, it's still going. And so I feel like opportunities like this, you know, year after year, it helps people remember why we did what we did in 2020 and why we continue to do what we do and activate in the ways that we do.
This was truly a meaningful event for many around the city and brought the community together in celebration of Elijah's light and legacy. If I were to say anything at this moment, it would be to be the change you want to see. Elijah wasn't even 25 years old yet and had the wisdom of someone in their 60s. People always come at celebrities and public figures for not doing certain things for our community, but Elijah knew not to wait, but to simply act and do what he wanted to see done. So, if you want to honor his legacy, do as he did. Put in the work and make our community a better place. Don't wait for a big name to sign on to your mission. Just do the work because that's what he did. Now, I don't know if you realized it, but it's the third Saturday of the month. So, of course, we're joined by our good friends over at Traveling While Black, Anthony and Marley Love. This week, they're highlighting 4 different Black businesses around the greater Seattle area you can support for National Black Business Month. Check out their suggestions.
Hey, what's up, Besa? We are back with more TWB approved recommendations.
Yes, in celebration of Black Business Month, we are showing you 4 amazing Black-owned businesses right here in Washington.
Our first recommendation is Norlux Candle Bar. The Black-owned candle bar and retail store sits within the Belltown neighborhood, located at 3020 Warren Place. Norlux Candle Bar is a candle bar where individuals and groups can book candle making experiences as well as purchase custom-made candles made by Norlux and other Black candle makers. The candle store is actually Washington's first Black-owned, woman-owned candle bar that was simply started as a labor of love by owner and founder Colina Bruce. Now it's a place that not only provides great candle making experiences and candles, but also serves as a hub for celebrating culture and building community. Like, for example, another great local Black business, Sync Seattle, who will be hosting a community connecting event at Norlux.
Our next recommendation is Island Soul. Sitting in the middle of Columbia City, located at 4869 Rainier Avenue South, Island Soul offers great scenery, an awesome staff, and great tasting food that they say can be best described as Caribbean-inspired soul food. Island Soul is owned by Theo Martin, who was inspired to jump fully into the restaurant business by his father. Theo now owns 2 other restaurants along with Island Soul. On our trip, we definitely enjoyed our time there. We enjoyed good food and awesome cocktails. Another place we absolutely recommend stopping into.
Here is a recommendation outside of Seattle. Glory Bucha, located in Arlington, Washington. Yep, there are Black people in Arlington, Washington. And in fact, the best kombucha joint in the town and possibly the state is Black owned. Glory Bucha is a kombucha store that serves some very delicious and in high demand kombucha. All of the kombucha are custom made recipes brewed by owner Lyle Profit, who began homebrewing small batch kombucha. Fast forward to now, Glory Bucha is a Washington favorite serving award winning kombucha. Actually, our first experience with kombucha was via Glory Bucha, and we can say it was delicious.
Our last Black business recommendation is Minnie the Donut. Located at 21925 Marine View Drive in Des Moines, Minnie the Donut sits in a small building, but the small building contains a whole lot of deliciousness inside. The business was started by Damone Gore, who turned to the donut business after retiring from an acting career. All the donuts are freshly made right in front of customers, and the end result is always a great tasting donut.
Now, these are just 4 of the many Black businesses to support during National Black Business Month and really all year round.
To see an abundance of other recommended Black businesses, be sure to check out our Black business map powered by Proxy located on our website.
Obviously, all of these locations and activities within have been TWB approved.
You can see a full overview of our experience at each on our YouTube channel, Traveling While Black, and on our TikTok page at TWB Seattle.
Until next time, beautiful people, stay up, stay true, and do you.
Huge thank you to the Loves for giving us some Black-owned gems to check out. And please, if you're not caught up on the latest episodes of Traveling While Black, head over to travelingwhileblackseattle.com to get caught up. All right, if you need to run back to the kitchen for some more snacks, this is the time to do it because we're off to another commercial break. But when we come back, we're jumping into this week's Youth Unfiltered and still to come events to know about. Of course, you're watching Back to Besa. Welcome back to Besa. I'm your host, Besa Gordon, and since doing this show, I've been able to tap in with our youth in ways I never have before, and it's honestly really dope. And frankly, as I always say, this new generation is different. But in my opinion, it's a good thing. We needed a generation that would pull up and let us know how they really feel while living their best lives. And that's exactly what we have. I recently caught up with Harlem, your bro, who I first met a little over a year ago while she was practicing for STG's Elevate. And let me tell you, sis is out here doing her big one, and we love to see it. Currently, Harlem is getting ready for the Teen Summer Musical with acts on stage, and we caught up with her to get her opinion on everything from youth depression, what she wishes people knew about this generation, gun violence, and more. Check out what Harlem had to say.
What I wish people knew about my generation is, I think that a lot of people think that we're stubborn, which is true, but that we're also fighters. And so we go through a lot and endure a lot, maybe not as much as the generations before, but we also endure different challenges than other generations, and that we have to learn to fight through them as well, even if it may not be as familiar like to the other generations than what we're going through. A topic that impacts young people, I would say, is probably body image and also gun violence. I think, especially during, for the Black community, gun violence is a really big thing. But as a whole, I think body image, like sexuality, gender, just things like that, because it can be confusing sometimes because of social media, and social media influences us sometimes in a good or a bad way, and that can really confuse us. And I feel like it messes with my generation a lot because, we're stable, but we still have different ideas and we like to challenge things. So I think that's what really impacts us. I think young people are dealing with depression a lot in large numbers because of either things that are going on at school or just the workload of school, or also just, once again, social media comes back around in this because I feel like social media influences my generation and us, if I could say that, in a really big way that I feel like sometimes we don't even realize on how it affects our mental health. Cutting up? Oh, cutting up. I used to be in cutting up. Cutting up helped me build up my confidence a lot. When I was in cutting up, I was a bigger kid, and I always struggled with my body image because I used to get made fun of at school and things like that. And don't get me wrong, school was fun, but I just got made fun of. And so when I got to cutting up, it really helped. It didn't only help me expand on my dancing, but it built my spirit up. And so now I'm unstoppable. I be on top of the world, to be honest. Cutting up, it just really lifted my spirit, and it gave me a confidence that I don't know where I could have got it anywhere else. Yo, it's back to Besa.
Harlem is a leader and founder of Black Girl Magic Club. She's also an honor roll student and participates in the student government as a member of the Student Senate. She is also passionate about social justice and uses her influence to advocate for change within school and her community, and wants to attend either Howard or Harvard University, and desires to go into medicine and become a pediatric endocrinologist to help youth with diabetes. Now, if you know someone 20 and under that should be on Youth Unfiltered, dude, shoot me an email at Back2Besa@wherewecconverge.com, and we just might pull up. We're off to another commercial break, but when we come back, we're talking about events to know about.
Hey guys, Besa Gordon here. Right now I am with my exclusive fam, and in case you missed it, August is National Black Business Month. So of course, Converge Media is going to uplift different Black businesses across the Pacific Northwest, and we want for you to nominate your favorite by going to wherewecconverge.com/Black Business Month. Again, that is wherewecconverge.com/Black Business Month. And honestly, you never know. Girl might pull up.
Welcome back to Besa. It's time to jump into events to know about, where I tell you the things happening around the city you need to know to live your best life. This week, we're going from Seattle to PDX. First up, the Acts on Stage 2023 Teen Summer Musical is already underway, okay? Dream started on August 18th, goes to the 20th, they'll take a little break, and then it comes back August 25th all the way to the 27th, okay? It's happening over at Langston Hughes, and if you haven't grabbed your tickets yet, you can still get those right now over at www.our.show/TSM Dream. Now, if you saw me fill in on the day with Trey last Friday, then you actually were able to see me talking with Curtis Delgado II about his event that is happening over at Nectar Lounge, which is the BCNF University Tour. Check out why he says you need to pull up.
I've been trying to bring the local artists together and put them on a showcase for quite some time. So on August 20th, Nectar Lounge, doors open at 7 p.m. It's an all-ages show. Come out and support 2000 Baby, Mike Jack, Mafi D, G-Star, Weston, KJ 500, and more. It's going to be an impactful show. We got Ayo Renee hosting, who is probably one of the funniest comedians in the city right now. Her and DeMonte's pulling up, so make sure that you're there too, man, and don't miss out.
On August 24th is the 3rd annual Rainier Beach Grill-Off competition. I haven't been to this one, but let me tell you something. As you guys know, anywhere that has food, you can definitely find me there. The next day, August 25th, Drake will be in town over at Climate Pledge Arena, so you already know traffic's going to be a little bit crazy. And our buddies over at Late Night R&B are coming back on September 2nd, but apparently they will be moving to a bigger venue. All right, guys, that's it for this week's events to know about. If you have an event you want me to know about, please shoot me an email with the deets over at Back2Besa@whereweconverge.com. Now, we are off to another commercial break, but when we come back, we are jumping into this week's affirmation of the week, which will be brought to you by my good buddy, Jay Martin Jr. Welcome back to Besa. Before we get out of here, I have to give you all this week's affirmation of the week. But this time, it's coming from my buddy, Jay Martin Jr. Check it out.
Hey Besa, it's me, Jay Martin Jr. here. I love our conversations. We have talks where we express, the journey and how to get to the dream. And I just want to say something that I love what we discuss is finding the beauty in the process. A lot of people like to just skip to the result. That's not how this works. Maybe that's what's shown sometimes, but the reality of it is you have to find the beauty in the process. When I say that, it's all the little steps that you got to take, not skipping over it, but walking through it. There's something about walking through, and as you begin to get to the next step and the next step, all of a sudden you look back over that journey and you say, what a process it has been, but now look at the dream that's unfolding. Listen to me. This is the biggest thing. Your dream does not need your perfection, it needs your actions. So don't skip the process, walk through it. You never know what's gonna come out of it, but the bigger result is the dream. So never give up, keep going. Back to you, Besa.
Shout out to Jay Martin Jr. and all of the wisdom he has gained over the years and has continued to share with me and is now sharing with you all. Keep up with Jay and all of his wisdom on the Drive Project podcast on the Converge Media Podcast Network. Now, I do have to give a B-Day shout out to my mom. I think people really don't realize how much family time that you really do miss out on when you're this deep into media. But I want to take a moment to thank my mom for understanding and always being my biggest cheerleader. And by the way, my mom's a twin, so I also have to say happy birthday to my aunt. Now, until next week on Back to Besa, keep up with me here in Seattle on Hits 106.1 weekdays, 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. And if you're in Portland, you can hear me on Jammin' 107.5 Saturdays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now, with that being said, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and of course, please keep that energy high.